All right, we are going live. What's up, everybody? Whew.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it. We got this. What's up, everybody? Saying hello to all the lives. We're doing a pre-recording for this week's show for Sunday. We're going to do things a little bit differently since I'll be out of town. Got special guest Kasey Hudson over here from the Sports Case joining me today to talk some sports. We're going to be going over some Lightning, Bucks, NBA. As you can see, I'm wearing an NBA jersey. We got to talk about that Dallas game last night. So we're just here to have some fun. If you guys have any comments coming in, please shoot them in and we will talk about them. And this will be going live this coming Sunday at 11 o'clock to 12 for the Moment of Truth. So get ready for a great show. All right. Oh, let's silence that. All right. 3, 2, 1, going live. Hello. Happy Sunday. Good morning to everybody. Thanks so much for joining me here for the Moment of Truth. I am joined by Kasey Hudson live in the studio. We are here to talk some sports. We got a lot of Bucks things to cover. We also have to talk about Baker Mayfield, who just had his first time talking to the media this week, and I had an opportunity to ask him some questions. So we're going to get back to that. And then, of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning have been having an exciting week. So we're going to be covering some NHL hockey as well. I'm so excited to be here with you guys on the Moment of Truth. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will get right into the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's bounce your Moment of Truth.
Tita, let's get it.
My name is Ruth Kakias, and you are tuned into the Moment of Truth right here on 102.5 The Bone, Real Raw Radio. Let's go.
Give it up for Mr. Do It All, never miss, last call, shorty miss, real ball, her friends say, no ring on the finger, no chain around the neck, she got the looses in check, she got the haters respect, she know what channel the game on, which player gon' shoot first, which player they gon' call last, all net, all glass, if it misses, no worry, just check out a podcast, Roof gon' tell the truth and got proof on it going down, go ahead and take a bow, the crowd goes wild, she take a game and break it down, and do it with a smile, pretty gal with pretty style, she pretty much a 10 except the fact she walk a dog in New Jade, she all in that roof. This your moment of truth. This your moment of truth. This your moment of truth.
I would just like to take some time in the beginning of today's show and give out a shout out to the Cecil family in Dallas, Texas. We've had a really crazy week with everything that we've experienced. When you lose a loved one, there's always a process that you need to go through and allow yourself to feel those emotions. And you always got to make sure that you surround yourself with friends, support, and family because things are not easy, but grief and losing a loved one is a part of life. Today, I am rocking Trent Anthony Cecil's jersey, the jersey that he was wearing the night that we met just 2 months ago. Miss you so much, Trent. This show is definitely dedicated to you and your family, and I'm really excited to get together with them this Saturday to celebrate your life. You are loved, you are missed, and hope to see you again one day soon. So we're going to get right into the show. This show is going to be dedicated to Trent Anthony Cecil. We have a special guest in the studio today. Kasey Hudson from the Sports Case is here live in the studio with me on this lovely Sunday. We're going to talk some Lightning. We're going to talk some Buccaneers. There's a lot we got to get to. The Bucs are making some crazy moves. They've just signed a new quarterback. Who may that be, Kasey? Who do you think? I think they woke up feeling dangerous before joining the Buccaneers. So we had an opportunity to talk to Baker Mayfield this Monday for his media appearance, first time being in front of the Tampa Bay media. He is officially signed under a 1-year contract with the Bucs. And we're going to get into some conversations that he had. I want you guys to listen to some of Baker's responses. I wouldn't say that they were out of the ordinary because everybody's aware of Baker's personality. Wouldn't you say that he just kind of brings a persona? Wouldn't you say, Kasey?
Definitely a personality, but he was a little boring.
You thought he was boring. Okay.
I thought he was a little boring.
I could get that. I felt like being in the room with him and kind of like feeling him out and his his body language and things of that nature. I think he was definitely just trying to play the good guy. I mean, I think he's tired of the media always kind of being on his back. Yeah, he doesn't want to be the villain anymore, it sounds like. But this is what he said after somebody had asked him how he felt about coming into a system and taking over after Brady has finally retired with the Bucs. This is what he had to say.
Never going to be Tom Brady. There's a reason he has won so many Super Bowls. He's the greatest of all time. There's no doubt about that. I'm not going to try and beat Tom. I'm going to be me. That's what's gotten me to this point. We're going to do it differently, but that's what makes this league so special. Everybody puts their own touch on it. But yeah, it's an honor to follow up with somebody like that, and I'm definitely the people that have played with him around here. I'm going to pick their brain as to the things he did. There's no doubt about that. So I'm excited. Like I said, it's an organization that's seen success, and following a guy like that.
An organization that has already seen success. Now, is that an organization which Baker Mayfield is used to being a part of? As everybody knows, he was drafted to the Cleveland Browns. And then where did he go to after the Browns? Was it
Rams.
It was was it the Rams or was it the Panthers first? He was in Carolina for a little bit before he went to the Rams and filled in those shoes for Matthew Stafford, who was out with injury. Do you think that Baker is really going to come into this Bucs system and try to, I don't know, be the next Brady? Like, how do you think he's feeling about coming into such big shoes after Brady has finally retired? What do you think, Kasey?
I will say I believe him when he says that he's not too concerned because
for
the most part, you're talking about somebody who is, I jokingly talk about him being boring in his press conference, but that wasn't the case, guys. I'm just kidding around. It's the fact that this guy's villain era has kind of transitioned. And so when he went to a team like the Browns, we know that the Browns are cursed with bringing in quarterbacks and either destroying their career or not helping their career. I mean, the Browns have been cursed for years. And then the Panthers, and they were still trying to figure out their quarterback situation as well as their coaching staff, which is a lot of chaos and confusion. And then he gets over to the Rams, and some people weren't buying into what he would do there. And then all of a sudden he made some plays and panned out in some games that you couldn't help but be excited about. So I don't think that he's coming in trying to be Tom Brady. I think he's coming in trying to prove to people that he's not only matured, but he's changed, and he has the capability of actually leading a team without so much dysfunction.
Yeah, and
he's looking forward to a team that's not so dysfunctional.
Right. He's looking forward to being a part of an organization that kind of has their ducks in a row. And the Glazer family, as well as Jason Light, the general manager for the Tampa Bay Bucs, have been making some magic happen in the last couple seasons. They have a draft coming up, but let's talk about the weapons that are going to be surrounding Baker this coming season, because I think that we may be able to anticipate that Baker is going to beat out Kyle Trask. Listen what he had to say about Baker being able to beat Kyle Trask and being the starting quarterback for the Bucs.
Just watched him over the years through the college stuff, and then I've always been a big fan. I thought he was really talented coming out. And I'm excited for it. To me, competition brings the best out of everybody. I've always believed that, and that's just true for all sports. You know, it teaches you how to compete, teaches you how to, win and lose the right way, and there's learning process along the way. So I think Kyle and I are going to push each other no matter what happens, and I think we're going to make the most of it.
They're going to make the most of it, Kasey. Do you think Baker is trying to, not sound too cocky or confident when it comes to beating out Kyle Trask? Now, Kyle Trask was drafted from the Bucs just 2 seasons ago, but he hasn't really been able to do much. We saw a little bit of him in the preseason. We saw him take a couple snaps in the regular season when they were resting Brady, when they were resting Blaine Gabbert. Now, I remember talking to you about it earlier when it came to the quarterback position for the Bucs. Now, you think that Blaine Gabbert was probably you preferred. Now, explain to our audience why you preferred Blaine Gabbert over a Kyle Trask or a Baker Mayfield.
Ruth says, hey, come in and have a casual conversation with me, put me in the hot seat. Because these are the things that fans like to go off about when they hear my opinion on it. Sorry, Gator fans. My thing was that, first of all, I was, I didn't hate what Blaine Gabbert did when he was with the Jaguars and stuff. He never really had the best offensive line, and he's been a good second guy to come in and alleviate and still get things done, and the team loves him, the players love him. Yeah. So when it came to the unknown heading into this offseason, I preferred something that I know what
more veteran experience. Yeah.
Exactly. And it wasn't for a lack of faith in Kyle Trask personally, it was for the lack of faith that I saw the organization have in him, because I've chatted immensely with people about this. When you are getting ready to be the franchise quarterback, when that's supposed to be your ship to run, you get opportunities to prove that you're going to be the leader, you're going to be the captain. Last season, they didn't put him in for any games where he should have had more NFL reps. And then I was like, okay, maybe this year. Well, your QB1 goes out for 11 days. Blaine Gabbert takes over that leadership role. He didn't have the best couple of practices with those 11 days that Tom Brady was out, which was very telling in a way, but easy does it, UF fans. I still gave him a chance throughout the season, and I said, let's see what games we can get into. Bucs had an awful season. There wasn't many opportunities where you wanted to allow anybody to come in besides Tom Brady. Then comes the Falcons game. They didn't need to win that game, number one. They said that they wanted to still win that game. They wanted to use that time to put the pieces together for a playoff run. Then Tom Brady comes out, and Blaine Gabbert gets the next tap on the shoulder. That should have been Kyle Trask. Trask should have been in that game 60+% of the time, and they didn't do that. And then when he came in, it still just didn't look good. So He doesn't look prepared, and it's not for a lack of preparation and eager and hunger on his end. It's the fact that he hasn't been positioned to take over this team.
Yeah. So, that could be an issue from, the offensive coordinator and Byron Leftwich and his decision-making, because as everybody we knew that they were expecting Brady to retire last season, and then he decided to come back, and then he retired again. So if you are anticipating your starting quarterback, riding off into the sunset on his high horse, I think it's time to see what else you got, because it's going to be not a rebuild, but a reload. But it would be awesome to see what they could provide on the field. So I agree with you there. I think it was a perfect time to actually see what Kyle Trask, what he could do against an Atlanta offense or against an Atlanta defense that was kind of hearsay throughout the season. But we're going to get into a little bit more of the conversation of Baker Mayfield, as he had a lot of things to say about his personality and how it's going to mesh with the Bucs. Listen up.
I enjoy playing this game, and my personality might rub people the wrong way, but I am who I am, and that's how I was raised to be. I'm not trying to play to be your friend or to impress you. I'm doing it because I love it, and I'm doing it because I love my teammates. And I think all my teammates would say the same. Behind closed doors, they knew who I really am, and that's what really matters. Between my family and trusting that. So it is what it is. I'm not too worried about the outside persona.
It is what it is. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Baker said it is what it is when a reporter asked him on Monday afternoon if his personality was too big for Tampa. Now, Kasey, we've had a lot of snippets of Baker and his retaliation against the media. How well do you think that personality is going to mesh with the Bucs franchise?
If there's one thing that I can say, all jokes aside, is that he definitely showed another level of maturity. I'm sure his camp, as they say, his publicist, his agent, everybody had a come to Jesus moment to be like, hey, this is kind of last chance for you, which the Bucks are known for. I mean, look at how many vets we've brought in and kind of helped reestablish their career, or given them a chance to take their career elsewhere on a more positive note. And so if there's one thing this team can do, they can help Baker with that. And I think he had the heads up of that. So we saw a mature person on Monday. I'll give him that much credit.
She called him boring, ladies and gentlemen. She used the word boring.
Well, compared to what we've seen.
Yes, he wasn't waking up feeling dangerous that day.
He was not feeling dangerous on Monday, which is fine. We might not want danger. We had enough drama last season to last all of us at least 5 to 10 years. So
this is true.
We're seeing a more mature guy, but I think we're also seeing somebody who's hungry for a chance. Imagine where his ego and his mentality is to come into this league as confident as he did, to do it with a team like the Browns, to have a season like he did in 2020, 26 touchdowns.
And brought them their first playoff win, right?
Yeah,
in
he
2
gave
decades.
That team hope. He gave that city hope, and then people felt let down after that season. So to have that kind of high coming into the NFL for his career to end up where it's at now, he needs this more than anybody else.
Right.
And so that's what we're seeing. And that could play off well for not only this team, but for himself. So I believe him when he says, he's going to stick to who he is. The guys in the locker room know who he is. Many of those guys in the locker room, especially the young dudes, they're going to love Baker. They're going to vibe. And, I think this is going to help raise the bar. The game's changing. Elusive quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks, the quarterback style is completely changing. And so everything's heading in a direction that Baker Mayfield can very well help this team get on track the same way.
Yeah, we heard Baker on Monday discuss that 2019 season. That is one of the seasons that he wished that he could just make disappear. So we're going into 2023. I believe he is 27 years old, still a young whippersnapper, like I like to say. So he does have a chance to really kind of rebirth his NFL career here in Tampa. I had one question I had to ask Baker just to kind of get an idea of what kind of goals he was setting, and this is what he had to say.
What are some goals that you're setting for yourself going into this year with this new team?
Be the best version of myself possible, in whatever role that is, starting or backup. Then I'm going to go in at 110% and help us win the division, get to the playoffs. And I'm a team-oriented guy. And how can I help this place?
Playoffs. He's talking playoffs. That is the goal that Baker is setting for himself going into this season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kasey, I know that we're doing a lot of reloading, as Todd Bowles would say, the head coach for the Bucs. How are you feeling? I mean, we got Derek Carr over there with the Saints. Not really sure what Atlanta's doing. Carolina just kind of seems to be a toss-up. Do you think that Baker could carry the Buccaneers to a playoff contention team this season?
I think if we have Browns 2020 Baker, we're on the right track. And then you've got, I would say, better weapons than the Browns did. I was chatting with a couple of guys a couple of days ago, and I wanted to say that they asked what's one thing about Baker that gives me some confidence. And I'm like, well, I've always had a similar vibe between Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel. And as soon as I say that, people freak out. Okay, calm down.
It's a great comparison, I think.
I'm not talking about particularly full style of play, but I'm just talking about the swag, the level of confidence. And yeah, swag is now like a new element to people's game. It's a new characteristic that you have to go far in many things in this life. So with that said, you think about how guys like Mike Evans responded to Johnny Manziel and how Chris Godwin responds to that style of play. And you know that these guys are very excited to play with Baker Mayfield, which means you're going to have people that are eagerly as hungry from the get-go to make that playoff dream happen. Nobody likes how last year played out. And the other thing that I'll say, what that gives Baker a leg up here, is that I think this team was just tired of the drama. Last year was the AB drama that carried over into the offseason. That was very lively on social media this season. Then it was, everybody had to live their lives on the scale of what's going on in Tom Brady's life today. Not putting that on Brady, media has a lot to do with that. But with the drama subsided and with Baker coming in with a more mature head on, you're looking at a team that's ready to just have some fun and play football. And if they have fun and play football, they can go far. I mean, I have them winning a minimum of 8 games this season. And the next thing that gives me a level of confidence, the last thing, is that to see what Dave Canales did with a quarterback like Geno Smith.
Right.
You know, he was written off years ago.
Mhm.
And then he comes in with the Seahawks, and now all of a sudden we're talking about this man actually having a flourishing career in the NFL. Seahawks believe in him by giving him that contract, and Dave Canales was a huge part of that. Geno Smith made sure to tell everybody that. So style of quarterbacking and just the revival of it. Now you've got an OC that's really going to probably mesh with his style of QB over Kyle Trask the most.
Yeah.
And we're talking about excitement. We're talking about the level of football. And we're talking about a heck of a lot of swag. And that gives me a lot of hope.
Yeah, I mean, all things, the floodgates are open for Baker, and he has tremendous weapons here in Tampa. So I'm excited to see what they're able to do. But I mean, we can't really count out that the Bucs might pick up something later on. I mean, there was a lot of talks about the Derek Carr situation. Lamar Jackson still hanging out there. So we shall see how that's going to chop up for the Bucs when it comes to the quarterback position. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we got some Lightning hockey to discuss because their playoff season is just right around the corner. Hang on, don't touch that dial. You're here for the moment of truth. So, okay. I got to see how he might want to need to chop this up because this is almost 20 minutes, and he said 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to make me re-record that.
Unless if it's a time thing as a whole and we make the hockey part short or the last segment shorter.
Okay.
Or we can cut 2 minutes off the last 2 segments
Right.
to balance it out.
Yeah, we could do that. All right. Now, how do I need to ask Anthony something. That was good, though.
Oh, thank you.
Anthony.
Doing anything?
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Pieces around the corner.
Okay.
I'll get it for you.
Thank you. Guys, hang out with us a little bit. We're pre-recording our show. Just trying to figure out how to go on to the next segment. Hope everyone's having a great day.
I almost said happy Friday, but it's totally Thursday.
It's totally Thursday. She almost said happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Sunday, because we're recording a show for Sunday right now.
Happy-ish Friday. Sunday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Anthony will be in a second.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
All right, so that was segment number 1.
Hey.
How do I go to like the next because you wanted me to record 3 separate ones, so we got our
Right.
first segment here. Now how do I go to the next one to start recording that?
Okay, cool. So basically, we could just continue recording on that same file.
Okay,
And then
so just hit record again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And just leave a little gap, and then you can slate it there.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, sounds
Awesome.
You
great.
want to double check the timing?
Yeah, so we went almost 20 minutes on that segment. So should we just shave off a couple minutes at the last segment to kind of balance that out?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay,
Perfect.
cool. Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Anthony.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Sorry, this is my first time pre-recording my show, so I'm still trying to figure out all the quirks to this. But thank you to everybody that has joined me on the live. Hi, Isaiah. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Ashley. Hi, everybody. Appreciate you guys so much. Do me a favor, though. I just made a YouTube channel for The Moment of Truth. If you guys could do me a solid, go to The Moment of Truth with Ruth Caguillas and subscribe to the YouTube channel because I'll be doing lives from there quite frequently. Lots of sports going on, so lots to talk about. All right, we are going to start our second segment. Let's talk about some Tampa Bay Lightning news. Their season is coming to a close. They're sitting in a good position, 90 points. But we're going to talk as if it's Sunday and we just know what's going to happen in these next 2 games. All right. So he said leave a little space. Right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Moment of Truth. It's your girl Ruth, the Truth, here live with Kasey Hudson, live in the studio at 102.5 The Bone. Make sure to catch up with us on social media, Ruth the Truth on Instagram. Kasey, let them know where they can find you on social media.
At the Sports Case, Kase. So TheSportskase. I almost forgot for a second myself.
Yeah,
But that's all
Kase is how you spell the sports case. So make sure to follow Kasey Hudson on social media. She's doing a lot of great things. Let the audience know what you've been up to every Tuesday morning.
Oh my goodness, I'm all over the place, but they call me the gypsy of sports broadcasting. If you
I like
will.
that.
Tuesday mornings, you can catch me on the Pat and Aaron show on iHeartRadio from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. is Pat and Aaron. I come in at about 7:30 and close out with them at 9. Typically, they're hockey insider, but we'll touch on a little bit of everything because it's just fun to have a good time with the guys. And then over at Odyssey Sports, Pucks and Bolts is a show that I run, and BetQL Network. I got hockey bets locked in, a lot of hockey, especially right now, and work on the Sunday spread with Aaron Gold and Grant Paulson. Gosh, do I miss those guys already. So BetQL Network, Odyssey Sports, The Sports Case is all the places that you could find me giving you coverage.
Awesome. Stay locked in with me and Kasey. We are the Tampa Sports Bays for sure.
The Tampa Sports Bays. I love that.
Yeah, we're the
waiting for
Tampa
it to,
Sports Bays.
Like as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, dang, that was nice.
Ding. All right. Well, let's talk about some Lightning hockey. I had the pleasure of meeting Kasey officially where we finally introduced ourselves after seeing each other a few times at the Bucks training camp and then at the Lightning games. So let's talk some Lightning. First off, Kasey, you've been covering this team for about 4 seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
Where do the Lightning, I guess, match up in comparison to the first 3 seasons that you covered them to now?
Wow. Well, I came in the year after. I've been so fortunate. I came in the year after the sweep to the Blue Jackets. Sorry,
Oof.
guys. That's always a tough pill to re-swallow. So coming in, you're seeing a team that was so determined and had a bad taste in their mouth, and then was that crazy thing called COVID that hit that spring. Then the boys end up going off to the bubble and everything went virtual. So my first year covering the team quickly ended up in Zoom calls, but luckily closed out with a Stanley Cup ring and a Stanley Cup lift at the end. But what was great was just seeing the caliber of grit that this team has and how well they readjust to unorthodox ways.
Yeah.
This team is just so unorthodox, even though they always talk about simplicity and just sticking to certain things. I don't think anyone realizes just how different this squad is. And you're talking about 3 different roster changes since I first started following them. So they came in, they cleaned that slate after the sweep from the Blue Jackets, end up lifting 2 Stanley Cups, end up in a 3rd Stanley Cup final this past season. And now it's time for that playoff push, and people are hitting the panic button after they went through that losing slump a couple weeks ago. They got back in the winning column, and now they're on back-to-back losses. Sorry, guys. But I'm not panicked.
Yeah, no time to panic for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's all how you finish the season and how you guys or how they approach the playoffs. Do you have are they, I believe it's the Maple Leafs that they're projected to start playing?
Yeah.
In the first round?
Thinking that we're going to be back to matching up with Toronto for the most part. So what it comes down to is that depending on where they stack points wise and how they close out the rest of these games. I mean, once they get back on March 30th, they have 7 games in the regular season, and that's just going to determine either home ice advantage or them heading up to Canada to get things going just like they did last season. But these guys are not afraid of road games, even though road trips have not been their strong suit this season.
Yeah, road trips have been a little bit of a stinger. I know I'm kind of switching to different sports here, but in the NBA, the Golden State Warriors finally got their first away win in quite some time by beating the Luka Magic and the Dallas Mavericks last night. We'll talk a little bit NBA at the end of this show because they're also wrapping up their season. But let's stick with the Lightning right now. Who has been the most exciting player, Kasey, from your standpoint, to watch and see develop throughout this season?
I'm glad that you threw the word develop in there because that helped condense the whole novel I was about to give you.
Yeah.
Because it's such a hard question. There's so much to love about each one of these guys. But right now, there's 2 guys that just really have my attention, and it's Ross Colton and Brandon Hagel.
Yeah.
For starters, as of a month
Babyface Ross.
Babyface Ross.
That's what I like to call him.
I wonder what he's gonna look like at like 30.
Just like that. Just like how he looks at 25.
So, but it was like 6 weeks ago. He just dialed up his game to a whole nother level. I got to ask him about it after one of the games, and you know hockey boys, they're most of them very humble, and you got the hockey terms that get thrown your way, and I tried to ask them a question to break them out of that structure, and his aggression on the ice has just dialed up. He's not afraid to be physical. Not that he's ever been afraid to be physical, but he's doing it on a whole nother level. It's not gassing him out. So I think he's learned the balance of being able to have a huge physical element to his game, as well as getting in those sweet spots to score. He has such a heavy shot. So for Ross Colton, he had to be almost lined up perfectly to get those shots to land. And now he's starting to do that from many circles on the ice, which is so great to see. So Ross Colton's just been so impressive to watch and exciting. And I feel like he's going to take this team to another gear come playoffs. But then you got Brandon Hagel. Comes in last year, basically almost a year ago to a week ago. And we weren't sure what that was going to look like, what his identity was going to be with this roster. We know that people were looking to replace that exciting third line of Goodrow, Coleman, and Gordy. And he came in a little silent, and people kind of discounted him. And then he ends up on that top line, and his game has gone to a whole nother level. And he got a hat trick the other week versus the Canadiens, saying it properly. But we've seen his game completely dial up this entire season. But again, in the last 3.5 weeks, you're even seeing a whole nother level up from what you saw at the beginning of the season. So Brandon Hagel is just so impressive, so mature, and he's a sponge. He learns so much from Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, and now you can almost put him on any line and he's impactful, which just tells you the development and the level of his game. Yeah, the future for Brandon Hagel is super bright. He's a really young guy, young stud, gets along well with everybody in the locker room, and they have a lot of respect for his game. And I'm glad that you mentioned Ross, because I really feel that in the last 2 months that I've been seeing Ross explode on the ice, on the defense side, on creating plays, just getting into people's faces, the aggression as well. I feel like there's a little bit of Pat Maroon that's been rubbing off on Ross Colton as well. I gotta love Patty and the aggression that he brings to the table. So I'm really happy that you mentioned Ross, because he is one of the younger guys in that locker room, but he is vocal and people listen, and he is always down to learn and improve his game, and very, very, very humble guy to speak to him in the locker room. He just always has great things to say about his teammates and the guys that make him better. But you mentioned Nikita Kucherov, and we are celebrating Nikita hitting his 100th point for the season. How have you seen Nikita develop in these last 4 seasons that you've been covering the Tampa Bay Lightning? That's a great question, because I feel like to some degree everyone's like, how much more can we say about Nikita Kucherov? But I know. But it's just like, once you think you've seen it all, he shows you something else, and he makes it look so flawless yet impossible. It's almost poetic what Nikita Kucherov does out there. So I mean, in 4 years, you're talking about someone who, because he's such an unorthodox guy, because he's such a meticulous player, I think for him it's allowing himself to trust the players around him to make plays alongside of him. I think I've seen that growth in Nikita Kucherov, especially, for instance, Brandon Hagel being a perfect example. Now they've got this cute little thing. I know, guys, you don't hear cute in hockey. They got this little bromance going. I'll extract the word cute, but you see this bromance between these guys whenever there's empty net opportunities or whenever they're on a breakaway together. You're seeing this understanding and this trust between them, and I think it's a rarity for Cooch to allow people to rise up and play alongside of him. So that's been a huge thing. You're still seeing these insane shots. I mean, let's take it back to the beginning of the season. There was multiple pucks that he landed right before less than 2 minutes left in a game, keeping his team in a game or helping them secure a W at the last minute. Yeah, Braden Point's been doing a lot of that too. Exactly. With 20 seconds left on the clock, tying the game. I can't remember who they were playing that week. Blackhawks. Yeah, they were playing the Blackhawks when he was able to tie that up with 20 seconds left. So it looks like a little bit of Nikita has been rubbing off on Braden. Wouldn't you say? Oh my gosh, yes. And then that's another player. You feel like you can't. The biggest thing, and knock on wood, health being such a blessing for this team. and I think they all have the ability to clear-mindedly just continue to grow their game individually as well as a team. And that's the biggest reason why I have no panic in me yet when it comes to what these guys can do. But Nikita Kucherov just keeps making his game special. He works so well in tight spaces. His passing, the no-look passes, the no-look goals that he does, it's him. It's a signature. It's a stamp. It's Nikita Kucherov.
It's very strategic the way that he plays. And it's outstanding to see him continue to grow his game. And I mean, congratulations to him for his 100th point on the season. And we're still not even done with the regular season, and we have playoffs approaching in the NHL. Who is your favorite Lightning player at this very moment? And then I just want to ask you a little bit about Tanner and how he's been meshing with the Lightning as well, because he is a new addition after the trade deadline.
I love the new guys.
Oh, we can't forget Mikey Isamont. He's aggressive. Mikey's aggressive.
Mikey he's got an alter ego. And I want to, my next question for Mikey Isamont is, what's the name of your alter ego, sir?
Yeah.
But
just Mike.
Yeah. My favorite, see, that's so tough. The good news is I grew up watching this team. This is how I fell in love with hockey. I think if I just had to kind of like, see, the new guys are making a big run here.
Yeah, they really are.
Hard to pick one. You can't not love Victor Hedman. I've always been a big defensive girl, especially when it comes to hockey and defensive players across the league. So being able to see Hedman forever now, and how his game has grown, and he sits at a minimum of like 40 assists contributing per season, and loves to get on the scoreboard, makes those shots from the blue line, and he's so. I need to find another word besides unorthodox, but it's just like. The way that Victor Hedman skates, the fact that he could play such an offensive game and track back to protect Vasi or Brian Elliott, who's ever between the pipes, it's just, he's so exciting to watch. And I know people have given him slack because he hasn't been up to par this season, but he had that injury in the beginning of the year. We never know how those play out. Then you find out in the summer that these guys have been playing through horrific things.
Yeah.
But I think as of the last 3-4 weeks, we're starting to see Victor Hedman back in rare form. And he's just always been one of my favorite players to watch.
Yeah, Victor Hedman is definitely the leader of that locker room, as well as Steven Stamkos, the captains. And it's been really, really exciting to see they continue to get better. And yeah, they have had a couple slumps on and off, especially on the road. And they faced Boston this week as well, which is one of the greatest teams in the NHL right now, the first team to reach over 100 points. They're at 113 as the moment stands. So I'm excited to see the Lightning in the playoffs. Do you think that, Kasey, do you really think that it's possible for them to reach their 4th Stanley Cup championship in a row, like just making it to the finals? Do you have confidence in them right now to make it all the way with all that? Because I know that you watch the NHL as a whole, so you've been watching other teams. Do you really think they got what it takes to make it all the way back for the 4th time in a row?
If you would have asked me this question 2 months ago, it was a hard yes for me. You were seeing them win great games. I think they had just beat the Boston Bruins, and we saw the playoff atmosphere. We saw the playoff caliber. We saw them play 60 minutes of hockey. The hard part right now for this team when it comes to how everyone else is kind of leveling up at the moment is because our D zone isn't as strong as it needs to be to compete. That's just the hard reality at the moment. And Coach Cooper's been shuffling up the pairings to kind of find that extra spark. He mentioned it the other day. We got Darren Radish up from the Syracuse Crunch. That's kind of a developmental period for him. Nick Perbix has been spectacular and a nice surprise since he got bumped up to help out with Zach Bogosian being out at the beginning of the season. So I think with still just kind of trying to find that, strike that spark, there's so many question marks around how they're going to manage the D zone in front of Vasilevsky, because this Eastern Conference is not going to be able to just rely on Vasilevsky pulling off big saves and then pull through to the final. So if they can start getting that D zone under control, breaking their puck management, not turning over the puck, then this is a team that can go back to the Stanley Cup final 100%, because the Rangers have parts that this team can expose on them. Then you've got the Canes after losing Svechnikov. That's an opportunity. Unfortunately, Svechnikov having that injury and having to get surgery. But there's ways for this team to just wiggle through. And I think that they like the pressure.
Yeah.
I think that's what people are forgetting. They like the pressure. They turned it up in the bubble, which was just constant hockey and hockey only, and without their captain, who only came in for 2 minutes and scored a goal. So they've been put in such tough predicaments, and they've been able to pull through. So I think for this team too, they just need to feel the pressure,
Right.
and so they can dial things up. 56 game season or 52 game season, their backs were against the wall. These guys were playing hockey every other night.
Yeah, a lot of games.
Right, a lot of games, COVID protocols, all these things. So I think we're just waiting for them to really start feeling like their backs against the wall, and we'll see them turn it up and turn it around.
All right. Well, you stick into the 102.5, The Bone. We are the flag station for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are going to be playing this Tuesday, March 28th, against the Carolina Hurricanes, which will be a pretty great game. Then they're going to be back at home at the Amalie Arena on Thursday, March 30th at 7 p.m. against the Capitals. So make sure to stay plugged in with 102.5 The Bone, the official flag station for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're going to take another quick break. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with the moment of truth. All right, we got 35 minutes recorded. All right, so we're going to do, when we come back in from this break, we're going to do your 2 truths and a lie.
Okay, I have that right here.
Okay.
Deandra sends her love. She said, "Are you and Ruth having fun? Tell her I'm so proud of her."
Aw. Tell her I said thank you.
Okay, those are the 3.
No, you can't show me.
Oh,
Yeah.
kidding. Well, it's not like I put which was which.
Okay.
Okay.
So wait, you have 3 sets of 2 truths and a lie?
3 different 2 truths and a
Yeah.
lie? Oh, I can have it.
Okay. All right, you guys having fun? Let me get to some of these comments. Pop in. Hi, Courtney. Got Deuce on here. Shout out to my brother Deuce. What's up, everybody? Atta gal. Recording for Sunday. Yeah, doing a pre-recording for Sunday because I will be out of town this weekend to go to a celebration of life for a really close friend of mine this weekend. So I will not be in the state of Florida. Peter says you guys are killing it. Fire emojis. Let's go. What's up, Jake? Good to see you. He said, shoot. He says, is that Kasey? Fire emoji. Look at these 2 lovely ladies. What's up, JC Allen? 2 powerhouses in Tampa Bay right now. Appreciate you, Killa. Keep up the good work, you guys. Love me some Bolts coverage. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for all the great feedback. You guys have any questions? You guys, feel free to shoot us some questions. Right now, we're doing a pre-recording for this Sunday's Moment of Truth right here on 102.5 The Bone. So there will be no live stream this weekend, but if you guys did not catch the show, make sure to download 102.5 The Bone, the app, or just go on the radio station wherever you're at in the Florida area. You most likely will get 102.5 The Bone. JC says, I miss your face, Kasey. This face.
You better stop lying. He stopped being my
JC,
friend.
she said stop lying.
Yeah.
Stop lying. Why did you have to ask Baker about how he was feeling dangerous? You had to be that guy, huh?
It's JC.
It's definitely JC.
It would be a JC question if it wasn't JC.
I thought it was going to come out of JP or something, or, but no, it was JC talking about being dangerous. Yeah, how you guys feeling about Baker coming to the Bucks? I mean, I wasn't too excited about it. Didn't think it was going to happen, but it's official. It's on ink. He's here for a year. Will he beat out Kyle Trask? I hope so. He's trying to redo his NFL career right now. All right, we're going to do our 3rd segment recording. I'm going to hit record in just a second. We're going to do 2 truths and a lie with Kasey. We are going to learn a little bit about our girl that we didn't know before. So I'm excited about that. So you're going to give me two truths and a lie, and I have to pick out which one is the lie. And then let's talk some NBA because I'm wearing a Dallas Mavericks jersey right now. So let's talk some hoops. NBA is going to be closing out their season on April 9th coming up. Playoffs right around the corner. So we got NHL playoffs. We got NBA playoffs. We got the NFL season. So kind of brewing because we have the draft coming up. I believe it's the weekend of like the 27th in April. So we got the draft coming up. And then we have the MLB. They're starting their season at the end of this month too. So a lot going on in sports right now. About to bake up the NFC South title led by Baker Bake. I like that. JC, you're a Celtics fan. Let's talk some Celtics hoops then.
Ew.
She said ill. Why is Kasey saying ill to the Celtics? What's wrong with the Celtics?
Boston teams in general.
Yeah, it's the Boston fans for me. The Boston fans can be a little crazy.
It's a no-go.
It's a no-go. Those Boston Red Sox fans are insane. Are you a knock? I watched The Heat the other day, that movie with Sandra Bullock, and I just always watch that movie when I just in the mood for a chuckle. Like, that movie's great for a chuckle. If you guys have any funny movies, please send them my way. I'm trying to watch some funny movies, make myself laugh. Thanks for joining me on the live, everybody. I appreciate you all hanging out here for the Moment of Truth, the pre-recording. There will not be a live on Sunday because I'm doing it now. But yeah, make sure to tune into the show on 102.5 The Bone. We're going to get into this last segment, talk some hoops, talk about some NFL or NBA playoffs, and then we're going to wrap the show up with Kasey telling us her 2 truths and a lie. So stay tuned. And we are hitting play in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Moment of Truth with your girl Ruth, joined by Kasey Hudson, special guest in the studio for 102.5 The Bone. It's the Moment of Truth. So excited to be here to join you guys today on this lovely Sunday. You guys know what it is. All right, let's talk some NBA. Oh, the NBA season is coming to a close. Kasey, do you have a favorite NBA team? I just got to get that out there.
So when I started in this field, I actually covered the Orlando Magic. And then
same. I started with Orlando.
The Suns, though. Exactly. Everything starts in Orlando, and then I got some love for the Suns. They're just exciting to watch. Young team. Putting in work. So yeah, a little bit of that.
Let's talk some Phoenix then. I believe they had a pretty disappointing loss last night to the Lakers. Now, the Lakers are trying really hard to get out into this play-in tournament. Now, LeBron James has been out with a significant, I believe it's a lower leg injury that he's been dealing with for the past couple weeks. And people have been writing off Anthony Davis and the Lakers. They made some questionable trades. They obviously traded Russell Westbrook to the other side of the Clippers nation, and he is playing with LA, but with the Clippers now. And then they set off Pat Bev, who I believe is with the Nuggets, if I'm not mistaken. Pat Bev have joined the Nuggets. I could be wrong on that. It's either the Nuggets or Chicago, one of those two teams. But they made some changes, and I feel like there's been a lot of pressure on Anthony Davis and the Lakers right now. Now, at the standings at the moment, the Lakers are on the outside looking in. After last night's win against the Dallas Mavericks, they are now going to be playing they're going to be sitting in the number 10th seed, and Dallas, as of right now, is sitting in the number 9th seed. So it looks like they're going to be playing each other in that first play-in tournament round. Then we have Minnesota playing against OKC. Now, you talked about your Phoenix Suns. How are you feeling about the Suns with the new addition of Kevin Durant?
Oh, what a heavy question. I think that Kevin Durant is in that part of his career where he's holding on. I don't want to say for dear life, but he's had a lot of things that he's had to maneuver past, obstacles and stuff. So coming in and kind of fitting in with this, like I mentioned earlier, younger team is going to be an adjustment. I think it's going to take a little bit more time for me to see how I feel about Kevin Durant.
Okay. Kasey, can you pause for a second?
Yeah.
I need to bring Anthony in here. I feel like
I saw the audio.
Yeah. Anthony. I feel like I'm recording over what we already recorded.
Excuse me, you know where to find Anthony? Oh, he's playing the studio? Yeah, we take second left, first one left.
Second left. It started seeming like we were recording over what we already recorded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you?
I thought I just hit record. Hold on, guys. Having some technical difficulties. So right now I paused it, but you see how it went back to 2 minutes and 44 seconds?
Yes.
So it is recording over what I already recorded, right?
Yes. So
how did that happen?
Just hit Control Z real quick. Okay, one more time. Let me see.
Technical difficulties, guys. Stand by.
Let me just hit this and see what. Oh, let me redo. Okay. Let's just hear. Okay, so around this time, you want to listen back and just hear what.
Yeah, I want to hear the beginning again because
Okay,
I
let's-
want to know if it re-recorded over my beginning monologue.
Okay, let's see. Go ahead and hit the space bar.
Hit the space bar.
Yeah. Why are we not hearing anything? I don't typically use this room, so I don't know.
Time in the beginning
Oh,
of
there we
today's
go.
show and give out a shout out to the Cecil family in Dallas, Texas. We've had a really crazy week with everything that we've
Yeah, that was the
experienced.
beginning. So
when you lose
what
a
is
loved
this?
one, there's always a process that you need to
Where?
go through.
What is this? Hold on.
That sounds like me.
Okay.
You want to skip to that part? Is that what you're looking to do?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure the beginning was still here.
Okay, but that does sound like the beginning right there, right?
Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, you can drag it from there.
He's had his first time talking to the media this week.
Yeah. Okay. So how do let's see where we left off then.
Don't forget Mikey.
I
and them right now to make it all the way injury. But there's ways for this team to just wiggle through.
Okay, so we were still talking
The
Lightning.
flag station for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are going to be playing.
Okay, so it just didn't start our third segment, I guess.
Oh, okay. So did
Okay,
you-
but I hit record and I
Huh.
saw the time recording. That's what I was confused about.
Okay.
March 30th at 7 p.m.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there other
Okay.
than it looks. So it does look like the first segment is there and the
Yeah.
second segment is there. So how far did you get into the third one?
We were just like what, 2 minutes in? Probably not even.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe.
So
like
just
a part
hit.
of it.
So just hit record.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Part of it might have been highlighted and then
Oh.
something happened where you re-record it. So, but it looks like I'm not seeing any.
It looks
spots.
okay.
Okay. Great.
All right, awesome. All right,
So I
thanks,
guess-
Anthony.
I guess that worked out then.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're gonna record we're almost done. We're gonna
Thank
record
you.
our last segment.
Glad to hear that. didn't get a raise.
Thanks, Anthony.
Awesome. All right, see ya.
Almost had a heart attack. I thought I was recording over what we already recorded. I don't know. I'm not good with technology, guys. Still learning. It's all a learning process. But thanks for hanging with us. We're gonna restart that third segment. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Moment of Truth right here with Ruth, with special guest Kasey Hudson in the studio with me for the Tampa Bay Sports Bays right here. I'm really excited to be here in the studio with Kasey. Now, before we get to our game at the end where we learn a little bit about our girl, we got to talk some NBA. The NBA is closing out their season. Kasey, who is your favorite NBA team?
I've got to say the Orlando Magic because they're
Wait, it's not recording, is it?
Recording.
Okay. It's not recording our mics, I think is what's happening.
Drag that all the way to the end.
How do you even move it? So it's not recording our mic. What? But it went from.
You
Hold
didn't
on.
hit stop, or did you hit pause?
How come I can't move this? I'm not good with technology. I'm really not.
Again.
Try to hit record. Hello. It's not taking the mic.
Something
Okay.
happened there.
Let's delete that.
Can dial things up. 56 games. 8th against the Carolina Hurricanes, which will be the official flag station for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're going to take another quick break. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with the Moment of Truth.
Okay, so
Everything record.
hello. Yeah, that's where it's messing up right there. That's what I'm confused about. Is there like a cutoff at 35 minutes? There can't be. time is moving, but it's not recording our mic.
Okay. Sorry for that.
No, it's okay.
I think.
I wasn't sure
Okay,
if it
yeah.
was...
I think so. I had to turn the mics off to. I forgot to turn them back on. That's.
Oh, okay.
Ugh.
No, you're good. Okay,
Okay.
let's see if it
Glad
goes.
you caught that right away.
Because this was highlighted before when this was recording.
Okay, so that's what it was. If it was highlighted, that explains that.
Okay.
Okay,
So now
yeah.
we're good.
Okay, we should be good now. Let's see.
Let me
Does it
pause
look
that.
like it's recording here? Let me just.
I heard earlier the whole time that we've been recording,
Mhm.
these numbers have been blue.
Is it when you hit
Okay.
record though, or is it hit record?
Yeah, because I hit it record and it's not turning blue, but it's taking our mics now.
Press the stop button right now.
This
real
one?
quick. Yeah. Okay. So it did record. Okay. So the highlighted
So I
portion
should-
did show up.
So I'll delete
You
that.
delete that.
Okay.
Let me just make sure you guys are good when you hit record here, and then I'll step out.
Okay.
Let's zoom in a little bit.
Zoom in.
Yeah. Let me. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Okay, you got it. And then you can move that bar over a little bit on the top there.
What bar?
That one right there. So you can
This
move
one?
it to the right,
Okay.
and then hit record, and then we can just kind of look in at the.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, that's okay. Oh, so you already had it recorded. So you already hit record. So that's cool.
Okay. So
It should be working now.
see, this isn't turning blue like it was earlier. So I mean, does that matter?
I don't know why that was blue.
Okay, because I just remember looking at the numbers and them always
Mhm.
being blue when we were recording. But I mean, as long as that doesn't matter.
It's definitely zoom in just a tad more now if you can.
Zoom in.
Yeah. Okay, now hit stop. Hit stop real quick. Yeah. Okay, so you hit play there after. So that could be what it was. All right,
Wait,
so
what?
hit stop.
Oh, am I starting from the beginning?
No, you're not. You're good. So just hit stop hit stop one more time. Then erase that
Erase this.
and then zoom in. Go all the way to the end and then hit record.
And then hit record.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna just watch the waveform and then just don't press anything else after that. And then just check the mic real quick.
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
You are
we
solid.
good now?
You are
Okay,
solid.
cool.
Yeah,
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, Anthony.
You got it. Hopefully
right.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm doing on this computer, so I'm trying to figure it out. We are going to be starting our third segment, talk some NBA, and then we're going to close out the show and learn some new things about Kasey. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Moment of Truth with your girl Ruth, with special guest Kasey Hudson in the studio. We got the sports ladies of Tampa Bay here in the studio to talk some Tampa sports. But we already talked the Lightning. We already talked about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and all their changes. I think it's time to talk some NBA. How about you, Kasey? Who is your favorite NBA team? Let the audience know.
Ooh, I have to give a little bit of love to the Orlando Magic, because when I first started in this lovely industry, I actually covered basketball for 3 seasons with the Magic. But I've got some love for the Suns. They're just an exciting team, a bit on the young side there, and if I do turn on the TV to watch them and the Orlando Magic are disappointing me, then I'll throw it over to the Suns if they're going to be on at any point that day.
Yeah, the Suns had a little bit of a disappointing game earlier this week. They lost to the Lakers. Now, the Lakers are in that position where they're looking in to play in that first round of the play-in tournament. As it stands right now, they would be facing the Dallas Mavericks in the first round in the play-in tournament, who they played earlier this week. And yeah, they didn't do so well for the Lakers. Now, what is your interpretation of LeBron James? Because I got to ask, I always like to learn a little bit about my guest. Is it Michael or is it LeBron for you?
Oh my gosh, you want people to hate me. That's what you want.
I
First
mean,
you asked me about Baker, Kyle Trask, all the loaded hate questions. Let me preference it with this. If I was a bigger NBA fan, which I prefer to watch in person. That's the only reason why I don't watch that much NBA anymore. And then now covering hockey the way that I do, it's just so hard to do both.
Yeah.
So I am a respecter of what LeBron James does. But in terms of when I first ever paid attention to basketball, kept up with it, the guy, the GOAT, was still Michael Jordan. So
Yeah.
I just gotta go with what I know. I'm gonna stick with Michael Jordan, but that's no disrespect or discount to LeBron James and what he does for the game.
Yeah, I say the same. I think LeBron James is an incredible basketball player, and he is sitting at number 2 for me. But Michael Jordan just changed the game, and I feel like he opened the doors and he opened the floodgates for players like Kobe Bryant, for LeBron James, and he set the bar for sure. He put basketball like in an international spectrum, because I feel like internationally is when they really started watching basketball, is when Michael Jordan was winning his 6 rings. So congratulations to LeBron James and all the success. He is now the leading NBA scorer, just going over. It was just a few weeks ago that he was able to retain the number 1 spot as the most scored points in the NBA. But let's look at some of these standings. We got Denver sitting at number 1, Milwaukee sitting at number 1 as well on the East. So we got the West Conference standings and the Eastern Conference standing being led by the Denver Nuggets and the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, it's going to look like the Phoenix Suns are going to be playing my LA Clippers in the first round as it stands right now. Now, I've been a Clippers fan for about 10 years now. I was a huge CP3 and Blake Griffin fan, and that's why I started really paying attention. I let go of the Orlando Magic. I was tired of the heartbreak in Orlando. I was tired of the messiness, the trading away good players. It just never seemed to be their forte to get their stuff together. So I let go of the Orlando Magic and started really paying attention to the LA Clippers when they got CP3 and Blake Griffin is who they drafted early in the best years of Blake Griffin. But I want to talk about the LA Lakers. Now, would it be a disappointment if LeBron James were to retire and if the Lakers did not make it into the official playoffs? What do you say about that? Would that be like a good way for him to end his career, or do you think LeBron would probably want to come back and play again and maybe play until his son joins the league? What do you think, Kasey?
Hilarious. Could you imagine? That'd be fantastic. I don't look, we just kind of saw this with Tom Brady. No guy with a status GOAT likes to go out kind of on this like, okay, cool note, you know? And unfortunately for Tom, that's how it went for him. But I think for LeBron James, he's had a lot of injury this season. He's had to sit quite a bit, to my knowledge, I'll say that. And I don't think anyone wants to go out like that because he's extremely athletic. He's brought a whole different dynamic to the game of basketball. And I think that he at least wants to be able to show 80+% of that before he closes the door, closes that chapter. So retiring would be unfortunate. I'd find it a little odd, and it would be wild to come into a season next year and not be talking about LeBron James to some degree. And no, I'm not ready for him to join any analyst desk either.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way about Brady. I'm not ready to see him as a TV analyst and not a football player. I think Brady's been playing in the league as long as I can remember watching the NFL. So I think that's going to be really odd for us. I think it's going to be odd for the world to be watching NFL games and not looking forward to seeing Brady play on the field. I mean, there's been a lot to talk about him joining Miami and coming out of retirement for a second time, but I think we could lay those those rumors to rest. The Miami Dolphins had picked up Tua's 5th-year option, and they are definitely closing the door on all these talk about Brady joining the Dolphins. Now, I want to learn a little bit about Kasey, and so does my audience. So we are going to play 2 truths and a lie right here on the Moment of Truth. Kasey, go ahead and give me your first set of 2 truths and a lie. I'm going to have to guess which one is the lie.
All right. Ready?
Ready.
First statement. I have 17 tattoos. Second statement. I have a shark bite inside my right leg.
What?
Third statement. I went to 5 different elementary schools.
Dang. Okay. I'm going to go with I know that you come from like a military family. Mm-hmm. So moving around a lot is very common. So I'm going to say that the lie is going to be that you have a shark bite on the inside of your right leg. Those were so specific. Like, I feel like they were all true.
When do I tell you if you're right or wrong?
Well, those are the first set. So tell
Okay.
me if I got that first set right or wrong.
Okay, so you think I went to 5 different elementary schools. You believe I have 17 tattoos.
Yes.
You don't believe the shark bite.
Yes.
You are correct.
Yes.
It's not a shark bite inside my inner right thigh. It's a burn, actually.
Okay.
So my friends and I grew up telling people that I got bit by a shark, and they even bought me a surfboard necklace that had a chomp bitten out of it.
Oh, wow.
No insensitivity to anyone who's been through that. Please note that, guys. It was just a way for me to be okay with like the scarring that I had inside my leg. I'm old
That's
now,
a pretty cool
and
story.
I don't care. And it was a cool story. So
Yeah. All right. Next set.
Next set. I have 2 older sisters and an older brother. I wasn't born in this country. My family speaks 7 languages.
Okay. I know. I think I want to say the first one, which was what, that you have 2 older sisters and 2 older brothers?
And an older brother.
And an older brother. I think that's the lie. Because I feel like you're not the baby in the family, but maybe I could be wrong. Let's see. What did I get?
Oh, you're wrong.
I'm wrong on that one.
I am the baby.
I am too, the youngest out of 4.
See, and we adopted my brother when I was 14.
Okay.
Shout out to Monty McAllister. But yeah, I have 2 older sisters. They're cool, I guess. My family does speak 7 different languages.
Yeah, I knew that one was right.
Yeah, and me and my sisters are first generations. So we were born in this country, but everybody else was not.
All right. I couldn't be perfect. Let's get that last set in before we say goodbye to the audience.
You were close enough, though. You thought of it.
Yeah.
Long and hard. All right, last set, kind of boring, but I played softball growing up. I played guitar. I played soccer and cheered in college. I thought sports would be a good close.
What was the first one again?
I played softball growing up.
No, you played soccer. So that's the lie. You didn't play softball.
You're right.
Yay! Look at that,
That's
guys. I actually pay attention.
Never played. My sisters played softball. I never did.
I dabbled in softball just because my dad was obsessed with baseball when I was growing up, and he just always wanted to call me Baby Ruth. So he always wanted to see me in like the whole baseball getup. But I let the softball dreams go when I went to high school because I wanted to concentrate on basketball because I'm height. I have some height on me, so I wanted to use that to my advantage. Well, thank you, Kasey, so much for joining me in the studio and putting on a great show. Please let my audience know where they can find you on social media. If you have any YouTubes, let them know where they can find you.
At the Sports Case, Kase. I don't really use the tube anymore, but definitely very active on Twitter now. I don't want to say all of a sudden, but all of a sudden. So at the Sports Case on Twitter, at the Sports Case on Instagram. I do have my business page on Instagram, which is at the Sports Case Media. That's how I cover all the hockey. I do focus on the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I also do NHL as a whole. I work with Odyssey Sports with my own hockey show and BetQL with all things betting between hockey and the NFL. And then you can catch me on iHeartRadio on the Pat and Aaron Show on Tuesdays, nice and early between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. I come in around 7:30. So love chatting with those guys. Love everyone that I got a chance to hang with. In media, a lot of growth this last year.
It's all about growing, baby girl. Well, thank you so much again for joining me for the Moment of Truth. I will see you guys next Sunday back here on 102.5 The Bone to give you more things Tampa Bay sports and NBA conversation. I know that a lot of people aren't really huge fans of the NBA, but they're approaching their playoffs, so we're going to be getting them into the show as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me for the Moment of Truth, and I'll see you next week. Bye. All right, 46 minutes.
Lovely.
Okay. Yeah, there's probably some things that they could like trim off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a little bit of dead air in between and stuff.
Okay.
How long is it technically, or how long?
Supposed to be 45 minutes exact because they play 15 minutes worth of commercials.
Oh yeah, they definitely can clean up a minute.
Yeah. And then Isaiah's always asking anytime I come to the studio, he's always asking me if I want to start like 2 or 3 minutes early. So maybe if that's the same this week, then they can do that. All right, guys, I'm going to close off the live. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you again to Kasey for coming and supporting her girl after such a crazy week. I really wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do the show this week, but Kasey came through to show support. And women in sports need to stick together. So we will see you guys.
Be real about it.
Yeah, we got to see you guys at a different time. Make sure to follow Kasey on Instagram. She's very active in all Tampa sports. So yeah, stay plugged in with her. She is doing a lot of things with the Lightning, and the playoffs are just around the corner. So if you guys want some Lightning info, that's your gal right there. I'll check you guys out later. Bye. End stream.